Welcome to day 6 of the Grotmas Advent Calendar as we explore new detachments here at Tabletop Tactics as they are released from Games Workshop. I am the chef, otherwise known as the Triarch himself. I am all 3 of the Triarchs because we are talking about the Necrons today, specifically the Star Shatter Arsenal detachment, which is a very vehicle and mounted focused detachment, but it has some nice benefits for pretty much everything. Now, the basic detachment rule gives you +1 to hit when you're targeting a unit that is on an objective. Now, you don't need to control it, they don't need to control it, it works in melee, it works in shooting. Great. Bit of a side grade to the core Awakened Dynasty, but you don't need characters, so that's good for units that don't have characters and for your vehicles. And that's where it comes in nice for the second part, because all your vehicles and mounted units, although not Titanic, I see you out there monolith lovers, you get Assault. Now on paper, that sounds pretty cool. Yeah, Assault on a Ghost Ark, sure. On a Triarch Stalker, that's fun. And then you remember that the Silent King is a vehicle and doesn't have the Titanic keyword. On the mounted, hey, that's cool on your Tomb Blades. Oh, but Destroyers are also mounted, so now they're really quite fast and capable of getting into range of the stuff that they want to do. And they want to be shooting at stuff on objectives anyway. The enhancements kind of lean into this a little bit. A lot focused on vehicles and mounted, but there's a very, very nice one to kick things off, which is specifically for Overlords and Catacomb Command Barge characters only, which is your Dread Majesty. Now, it's pricey, it's 30 points, but it is a 6-inch aura of reroll 1s to hit and wound. He's a mini Silent King. That's really powerful, and that applies to everything. So great for when he's by himself, but especially when he's supporting a gun or melee line. We then have a miniaturized Nebula Scope, which gives the bearer and his unit ignore cover, which is great on a unit of Destroyers or even on a unit of Immortals. We then have Demanding Leader. Now, this is incredibly cheap at only 10 points. It allows you to pick a friendly vehicle or mounted unit within 6 inches. Again, not Titanic, that's the theme of the list. And it gives them fall back and shoot, which is really quite nice, especially on things like your Destroyers, because they are kind of out of the game if they're tagged in combat, so this is an amazing upgrade for them to have access to. Countered only really by the next one, which is Chrono Impedance Fields. Again, quite pricey, 25 points, but you pick a mounted or non-Titanic vehicle within 6 inches of the bearer, and they're -1 damage. Shooting at melee. Yeah, that's really powerful. It's really powerful, makes Destroyers very beefy, makes vehicles very beefy. Good thing you can't do it on a Monolith. Shame that you can do it on the Silent King. He becomes really hard to kill. Stratagem-wise, we have 6, as you would expect, all of which cost 1 CP, which is very nice indeed. And there's some real good utility ones in here. And not all of them are vehicle and mounted, so there's some nice options for your normal infantry or other units that you might want to be taking. So the first up is Merciless Reclamation. This is shooting or fight phase. You get +1 to wound when you're attacking something that is in range of an objective. And that's what you want to be doing with your detachment anyway, but +1 to wound makes you incredibly reliable. You're now probably hitting on 2s, wounding most stuff on 3s, if not 2s, and you can do that on things like Catan. You can also do that on things like Monoliths, Silent King, Destroyers, all manner of things. Super powerful, super useful to have in your back pocket. Next up, we have Unyielding Forms. This is for your mounted non-Titanic vehicles. It is your standard -1 to wound against attacks which are a strength greater than your toughness. Always nice to have. You're quite tough anyway, coupled with things like the -1 damage from the enhancement or the 4-up in buns that you get from being just most Necron vehicles, really useful to have for your survivability. And that will last for the entire phase, shooting or fighting. After that, we have Chrono Shift, auto advance 6 with a mounted or non-Titanic vehicle unit. Great for your assault and to guarantee many different things, whether it's to get into range, get into line of sight, to nab an objective. Always handy to have it because you've got assault on those units, you're not missing out on any firepower. Then we have Dimensional Tunnel, which allows you to smash through walls. Now, most of your vehicles have fly, as do your Destroyers and your Tomb Blades, but this is useful for going up and over. You don't need to do that, you can just go straight through. Handy dandy. The 5th stratagem is Endless Servitude. At the end of your fight phase specifically, if you're on an objective that you control, you can immediately activate your reanimation protocols with any non-Titanic Necron unit. Yeah, really powerful. Great on a Scorpec unit that's knocked someone off, or a unit that's defending one of your objectives, or if you're being really obnoxious on a Transcendent Catan, or a Void Dragon, in case you want to heal something like 12 wounds in a turn. You horrible, horrible human being. The final stratagem is reactive reposition, which you target on any non-Titanic Necrons unit after they have been shot. They get to move D6 inches, or 6 inches if you're a vehicle or mounted unit. Incredibly powerful, whether that is to get out of range of something, or if it is the last thing of your opponent's shooting phase and they're safe from charges, to just get further up the board. Someone's decided to be really cheeky and take some pot shots at your score pecs, blah, 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 as they skitter towards you. And yes, you can do that on Catan as well, which is, again, just quite horrible. So that's it. That is the Star Shatter arsenal. Really quite nice. An amazing selection of stratagems and some fantastic enhancements, as well as just a really good detachment buff. Yes, it's a side grade to your generic Awakened Dynasty, but because it applies to so many more units, even if it is in a limited part of the battlefield, as well as giving you the assault on things like Destroyers and Doomsday Arcs and Canoptic Stalkers and all that sort of stuff, it allows you to just be a little bit faster with certain units and get benefits from it. You've got a Doomsday Arc with heavy, well, you don't care if you're getting +1 to hit and you get around the corner and they're on an objective. See you later, suckers. Really nice detachment. I'm a big fan. I will be using this very, very soon over and on demand. So make sure you go over and check us out. We've got loads of videos and we're going to be showcasing all of these new detachments in the coming weeks. But whilst you're here, you make sure that you hit like, you hit subscribe, set the notifications to on, because every single day over this Grotmas Advent Calendar, we will be releasing a little mini review, our first thoughts from the players here at the studio as to what we think on these detachments. The minute that Games Workshop releases them. So be sure to tune in for the next one and we'll see you then.
Enjoying today's video? Here's a quick look at what we've released this week for our on-demand members. These videos join a huge library of exclusive content that grows every week for our on-demand community. If you want instant access to all of these videos and more, head over to table.tactics.tv or download our app and sign up today. Thanks for watching. Now let's head back to the battle.